están pensando en el futuro, tener un negocio, este tipo de actividades.
And I don't know, just to get in the track and have Richard talking about a little about what Sandra is doing in this situation of the connectivity and also how the use of platforms, how Sandra is improving the use of platforms and thinking that they want to get to this huge market that is in Latin America and in other parts of the world that the connectivity is much slower or limited here in the U.S. How Sandra is going to the situation.
So I did want to talk a little bit about the mobile platform aspect of this from a software development standpoint. That is a big challenge. I mean, at first it may seem trivial, but you've got the iPhone, the Android, the BlackBerry, the Windows, the Symbian, and the list. That's pretty much the list, but there's a couple more beyond that, and they are quite different. Now there are frameworks that allow a certain layer of abstraction, and we're using the Road Mobile framework to help with that, the Roads framework. But that's a trend I'm hoping we see, is that we get more of a standardized platform to develop on and to deploy within a container, if you will, that would run on all these different mobile devices. Otherwise, it is quite burdensome when you want to develop a view grades app and you need to put it on the iPhone and the BlackBerry. There's significant differences, and particularly if you're not using a framework. But even when you are using a framework, even just cosmetic differences between the platforms, it is quite burdensome. And when you then, as an institution, have 50, what we call MAPs, 50 units of functionality or applications across 5 different mobile device platforms, and you need to roll out a new version. It's a lot of work.
Well, that's interesting. That's true. Like, we've been using mobile devices for different things, but everyone, because of the price, because of the fashion, whatever, there's so many different types, and it's not a standard. So adapting the technology to every type of mobile device is an issue.
Have you seen an interest from your clients in South America and Latin America in using these technologies and adapting these technologies?
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's relatively early days for this product, but there's interest throughout our customer base, absolutely, and it's pent up. I mean, frankly, we should have been on this, a year prior to when we were. But we've really hit the ground running, and now that we have this framework out there, and the model where our customers participate in this ecosystem. So we produce the framework. We have these starter apps that get a lot of functionality into the hands of end users, and provide examples of how to develop these apps. Then we develop additional apps. Customers develop apps and share them. Partners develop apps. Very rapidly, within a few months, you have grown this ecosystem of mobile application functionality across multiple devices. And so, across the board in Latin America, in Europe, in the U.S., and beyond, they're all kind of jumping on it now that it's there and they got something to work with.
This is a really interesting concept on there because Sunguard is a software company and you develop software. But these applications you're developing are open source basically for your customers.
Yes.
How has that worked?
We have a couple of products now where we're taking this approach. We have our Infinity Process platform also is a similar model where we provide it as open source, and so we then look to monetize in other ways. So it's a balancing act. We want to participate in the community and see rapid adoption. And so certainly a free product helps with that. we also want to, make money at the same time. So I think it's a good balance between providing a decent framework and then providing training services, professional services, so we can we develop apps for an institution if they don't want to get in there and develop them themselves. We can do the workshops so they can get up to speed and develop their own. So there's a number of different things we can do. We're working now with our partners. So clearly, we have many software vendor partners that we work with who would like to develop mobile apps using this framework. And so there's another opportunity for us to work with them, give them training, develop apps for them, perhaps. So, it's, 5 years ago it would have been, we developed a software product, here it is, give us $20,000, and it was, and here's some services. It's a little more of a complex monetization model today.
Okay, and for Edgar, since you're also a software shop.
Yes.
Have you guys been looking at this maybe concept of developing free open source softwares where you get support? Or do you get your plans continuing down the road of licensing your software?
Well, first and foremost, I think we've been we've been working with the open source community for a long time. And we have two very specific communities where we do that, Sport 25 and CodeFlex. These are areas where we let people develop using our SDKs and develop using what we provide as a platform. So for us, open source is very, very much a part of us and a part of what we want. We definitely have our licensing products and our core platforms. But when we look into a mobile technology, we do have a lot of the SDKs that are out there for people to develop on. We have Xbox also. We have the XNA Developer Studio so that people develop games on it. And we have a whole bunch of software development kits that are more known into STEM-D students, science, technology, education, mathematics, and developers than in a commercial landscape. But certainly what we want to do, and we work with a lot of universities on research. We spend a lot of billions of dollars a year in research. Working with students to build so that they can build applications, working with communities so that they can build applications. One big one of that was in education. We have a project called Learning Gateway, which is basically, the project is, how do you take the SharePoint product, how do you take the identity management product, how do you take SQL Server and all these platform products that we have and put it into the context of education. So how do you use all those bits and pieces and build it upon something that works for education? So with Learning Gateway, a lot of our partners are taking that on and building what they call learning management systems based on SharePoint, or student information systems based on different concepts and elements.
Using SharePoint to replace Blackboard and Moodle, those kinds of things.
Well, either replace them or complement them.
Okay.
In many cases, what we hear from some of our customers is that the closed-end platform is not that amicable for the institution. Because every institution, we think, it's pretty much unique in the way they operate and the way they want to use that. And we want to provide that flexibility. So whether that is complementing a student information system that they have, or them saying, you know what, this is not working for me and we need something customized, yeah, you can use our platform to do that. You can use some of the elements and even some of the technologies that you might think, well, how could that work in education, like CRM? It's a customer relationship management software. Customer, it doesn't talk about students at all, but it's just a connotation. You just change the C for whatever you want in front. And we're seeing how a lot of institutions are using that product to handle workflows, to handle intervention, So when you need to intervene with a student, whether positively or negatively, to handle student portfolio and student information, and also to make use of that knowledge and create a knowledge-based system that supports the pedagogical model. So all of these technologies are available to build upon that. Our licensing in education is very, very discounted. We have very good programs around that, but we also go into the sense of open source and let that integration happen very, very openly and friendly.
Tengo una pregunta.
¿Sí?
Es una pregunta abierta. ¿Ya? Esta sesión está siendo visitada en este momento por alrededor de 200 personas que están siguiendo con mucha atención lo que se discute acá. Y a mí me van diciendo al oído algunas de las inquietudes. Nuestro fuerte es la escuela de Business Administration Management. ¿Qué recomendación le podrían dar ustedes a los estudiantes que están estudiando administración de empresas, que están estudiando business, como muchos de ustedes, y que están en este mundo de la tecnología, cómo ellos se debieran atrever a poder trabajar en empresas tecnológicas, pero con su formación de Business Administration? ¿Qué les ha servido a ustedes, siendo que algunos no son de formación de ingeniero informático, para desenvolverse con éxito en este mundo de la tecnología? Es algo de las inquietudes que tienen. O sea, dicho de otra manera, alguien que estudie Business Administration o Management debería tener el coraje de ingresar a una empresa tecnológica y hacerlo con éxito. Es algo abierto. In English?
To repeat the question
Right.
in English, what are you looking for in your employees? For somebody who's coming out, for example, their school, and they study business administration or management, what do they need to do to work for a technical company, such as the ones listed around this table?
Okay.
Yo creo que adaptación, ¿no? Para poderse uno adaptar, sobre todo yo creo que son dos currículos muy diferentes, pero yo creo que el concepto de uno puede ser adaptar, acceder a la información o dar la información a los usuarios, así seas tú recibiéndola o tú dándola, es importante, ¿no? Yo creo que tenemos que estar preparados para poder recibir la información de cualquier modelo, ¿no? Así seamos la persona más qualified para poder entender el concepto a la persona que está entrando como nuevo, como empleado, ¿no? Y tener las herramientas disponibles, ¿no? Yo creo que hoy en día las compañías, para organizar a una persona que está entrando nueva a una compañía, los recursos que se requiere para prep a ese nuevo empleado es darla, ¿no? Hay que hacerle la configuración de dispositivo, con qué tipo de aplicaciones va a usar, qué tipo de acceso va a tener. Imagínense que esos profiles ya estén listos, ¿cierto? Para que cuando ya entre alguien nuevo a una compañía para comenzar su carrera, estén ya ready. Yo creo que la tecnología hoy en día nos está dando eso, ¿no? Tener ya recursos o información disponible para que cuando la gente esté adentro lo pueda.
I would say the number one attribute is really curiosity. It's continually seeking out what is going on in the technology space and demonstrating that, whether it be in an interview or on the job. I mean, the industry changes every 6 months, whether it be from a technology standpoint or from a process standpoint. I mean, our company's just gone through this agile, type process adoption, and so you really have to demonstrate that you are curious about exactly what is Google doing, what is Microsoft doing, what is Apple doing, and all those different development platforms and cloud computing. I mean, it's a long list, but you have to continually be curious and go out there and seek that and demonstrate that.